Hey VC, this is Harvey of Spin the Black Circle. Hope everyone is well, doing good things, and welcome to Friday Night Vinyl. So I thought that I would pick up on an idea, a smart idea from Gordon over at I Dig Vinyl. And Gordon's idea is a simple one, is to show a number of albums that you can get on the second-hand market for relatively cheap that are true bargains, your best bargains, I guess. And I'm going to match Gordon's number, which I think was 7 albums in the selections that I have. And the reason I think this is a smart idea is twofold, actually. There's first of all, there's these kind of extremes in the VC of the audiophile market, where it's almost those conversations in YouTube don't pay any attention to price of a UHQR or a one step that might be 3 figures. Other end of the extreme is bemoaning of prices going through the roof and record companies taking advantage in how expensive record store day is. So that's number one. The second is, I think this, to Gordon's point, there are people who are strapped for cash, and so it's nice to show some records that you can readily get on Discogs or in record stores. I'm going to say for under £10 or well under £10, that are great music, worth having. And that people might be able to put some money aside and get a record once a month if funds allow, and it's not an elitist hobby that you need a kind of certain entry point financially to enjoy. So I'm going to follow that in the 7 albums I show, starting with the 1987 album If You Want to Defeat Your Enemy, Sing His Song by the Icicle Works on Beggars Banquet. This is broadly under a tenner. I would say £78 you can generally see this for in the right shop or on Discogs. I think this is the album that should have sent Ian McNabb and co into the big time with your U2s and your Simple Minds and your The Cures, but it didn't. Surprisingly, because there isn't a missing element here for me. The big hit from this should have been Understanding Jane. Hope Springs Eternal is an amazing song. The whole package, actually, there isn't a weak moment on this. So it's a real shame, because Ian McNabb, I think, is up there with the likes of your Robert Smiths in terms of ability, and your Ian McCullochs. So for that reason, because it didn't break into the stratosphere, this is everywhere. It's in you see it easily sourceable, if that's a word, in secondhand record stores, but also some copies on Discogs under a tenner for this, and I think it's an excellent buy. It's an LP where nothing's missing. It's great indie pop, more towards indie than pop, but quite progressive too, and it's a really good buy. So number 1 of 7 is Ian McNabb's Icicle Works, If You Want to Defeat Your Enemy, Sing His Song. What a great title too. So I've got a bit of an obsession with Loggins and Messina Yacht Rock. So I've got a number of their albums, all of which Loggins and Messina albums are really dirt cheap. So this is their debut duo album together, Sitting In. I think it's from 1971 or 72. So you'll get this on CBS Records in a UK record store for under a £5, I think, as are all of their albums. So Kenny Loggins, famous for singing on songs from the Top Gun soundtrack, but a kind of yacht rock solo artist, and Jim Messina. So Loggins Messina or the duo. But this is kind of let me put it this way: if you like the Eagles, buy this. If you can't stand the Eagles, then avoid this like the plague, because that's what it's aimed at. It's that kind of country tinged yacht rock, quite slick, probably is slightly more acoustic than the Eagles, a little bit more bohemian than the Eagles, but it's that sort of sound, and it's a major label production. You have a full band behind them, but if you do like the Eagles and you like, yacht rock doesn't turn you off as a subgenre, and you just like great melodic US rock from the 70s, then this is under a £5, and probably the one of the picks of the bunch of the Loggins Messina catalogue. And I should do what's the fuss about of their yacht rock output. But yeah, under a £5 for that, and as I say, it's a really good 70s well produced and well played rock album. Great musicians too. So this is an omnipotent artist that everybody knows, but very, very easy to get. One of the best sounding Madonna LPs, True Blue, for well under £10. I'd say you'll probably pick this up if you look properly for £7-8. The reason I'd start here, assuming you're not allergic to Madonna's stuff, is the production from Patrick Leonard is absolutely astonishing. So Patrick Leonard, who was actually did some stuff with Roger Waters at one point. He did some stuff with Richard Page out of Mr. Mister in a band named Third Matinee, but he's an expert producer and keyboard player. And the sonics on this, for those who are into good sonics on record, I mean, stream this and it just sounds like, it's, the songs on this. You're obviously well familiar with Papa Don't Preach and Open Your Heart, but this on vinyl absolutely screams out of the speakers because of Patrick Leonard's production. It's really wide scope and cinematic, and it's also cut really hot too. This is a UK press, so I reckon you'll get this, as I say, for well under a tenner. And you might see it in a decent condition in bargain bins for just 2 or 3 GBP English pounds. So yeah, True Blue by Madonna, one of the 80s classics, and probably the best sounding of her 80s albums, actually, sonically anyway, on vinyl. So that's number 3. Then one I picked up recently, which is a best of series on the Atlantic label by Sam and Dave, from the 80s, I think this is. It sounds very much like it's all analog, sonically amazing on this gorgeous red Atlantic label. Expect to pay £5 or £6 on this, and it's got all of those amazing Sam and Dave songs on it. Hold On, I'm Coming, Soul Man, obviously, When Something's Wrong With My Baby, which was covered by Hall & Oates on a live album in the 80s, and then Soul Sister, Brown Sugar too. So a great way to pick up a key, well, there was Stax really, when they a key Stax artist and Sam and Dave on this compilation. It's just sonically, it's really, really good. So that's number 4. Next one, I reckon you can get for £2-3, and it's absolutely excellent. It's Magic Fly by Space. 70s electronic kind of quiche dance act. The most amazing thing about this is I have no idea how this band, if these artists are still alive, active in some form, why they haven't sued Daft Punk, because Daft Punk have entirely ripped off every aspect of Space's sound. It's like a 70s Daft Punk. Even the 2 main protagonists wear helmets, which Daft Punk obviously also ripped off. So the French, they sound like Daft Punk in a time walk back to the 70s. This is a really great album. This is a Pi English copy, British copy from the 70s. I reckon this is £2 or £3 in bargain bins. Certainly no more than a £5, and it sounds excellent. There was quite a big track off this, which is the title track, Magic Fly. When you hear it, if you're UK based, you'll know it because it was used on programmed soundtracks. But yeah, I would describe this as kind of imagine Daft Punk got on a time machine and went back to the 70s with the equipment that they were able to use then. That's what this sounds like, and so Space, you might want to litigate Daft Punk because they've totally, I think, to my ears and eyes, kind of taken your blueprint and Xeroxed it. Okay, so two more to go. The next one is a band that I've just for some reason got a general obsession with, and I think they are underrated, and especially this debut LP is massively underrated, and it's all over the place by the Bangles. So for those of you who know the Bangles from those big hits like Manic Monday and Walk Like an Egyptian, where they were popified, the LP after this, they actually started out as quite a serious Paisley Underground band, and this is a Rickenbacker, guitar heavy, jangly, excellent, almost very Beatles influenced debut LP, all over the place. So this, I think, was 1984, so a couple of years before the big hits that came out, which I've just talked about. This, I reckon you'll get, again, either £6-7 or maybe even a bargain bin. Obviously check the condition for a couple of pounds GBP, and it's astonishing, actually. It's such an underrated album. I think it's one of those LPs that people will eventually realise how good it is, but their reputation is besmirched by what happened a little later. But yeah, all over the place by the Bangles. If you like the sound of a kind of female Beatles, Rickenbacker, Paisley Underground, the songs are excellent too. Then get a hold of all over the place, because it's fantastic. In terms of individual songs, the opening track, Hero Takes a Fall, is excellent, as is James Dover Beach is on here. And then probably the most famous track was a cover of Going Down to Liverpool, probably the key version of the Going Down to Liverpool, originally by Katrina and the Waves. But that's the you may have seen the video with Leonard Nimoy, Dr. Spock in it, where he's driving the car. But it's an excellent album from top to finish, and it's a pity that they were popified and then continue going down this route. They eventually got back to these routes actually when they reformed in the 90s for a couple of albums. So they got back on track, but I still think this is their best album. Doll Revolution is the LP that kind of went back to this sound. I think early noughties that would have been actually, but this is where they were at their early and best peak, which is bangles all over the place. Finally, an LP that's everywhere. It's sonically amazing, and I reckon you'll get this for certainly no more than a tenner. Is I, Robot from 1977 by the Alan Parsons Project. Excellent album, deserves its place in any classic rock or prog collection. Alan Parsons, obviously, more of a producer than anything else, but multi-instrumentalist too. Still active, but one of his eminent 70s LPs. And I do think this belongs in, as I just said, belongs in any decent expanded rock collection, because it's fantastic and it's not that much money as far as I can see on Discogs or online. So yeah, enjoyed doing that. Seven albums, great idea from Gordon. Please like, subscribe, tell me what you think. I would love it if you continue Gordon's idea and choose 7 albums, either under $10, under $7, or under £7, whatever you think. Because I think in these cost-conscious times and everything that's happening globally, even the most well-heeled of us probably just need to have a think about finances and not be so ready to let the cash walk out of the door. So this hobby can be expensive, right? So with that, I'll leave you, and thanks for watching and listening to Friday Night Vinyl. Peace. Bye.